There's somebody that needs to hear this message. Maybe you're going through a season of difficulty. Maybe you feel like you're lost. Maybe you just are struggling a little bit down on your luck. This video that I'm getting ready to play for you guys is a powerful testimony of what God can do and how he just shows up at random for people in their times of need, guys. I want to play this video clip for you and then we'll be right back.
Can I tell you how good God is? I'm homeless, okay? I've been homeless in active addiction for quite some time now, right? And this morning, I decided to wake up from the hotel I'm staying at to walk and get something to eat. I got something to eat, and as I'm walking back, I noticed this house had this punching bag in front of it. And for some reason, it stood out to me. Why? I don't know. But it stood out to me. So I'm watching it as I'm walking, and this man walks out of this house. And he says, "What's up?" to me. I say, "What's up?" to him. And how blessed I am by this conversation I just had. The man's name is Brian. My name is Brian. He spells it with an I. I spell it with an I. The man's a firm believer in Jesus Christ. I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ. You know what the first thing this man asked me? Do I need a job? I said, well, yes, I do. He said, all right, take my number. I give him my number. I was like, well, look, tomorrow my phone's about to get shut off. Because it is. Tomorrow my phone gets shut off. He's like, don't worry about it. I'm going to pay your bill. He paid my bill right there. Oh, I'm talking about how good God is, right? He put some money. The man put some money in my pocket. He shared his story with me about how God pulled him out of addiction. How God has changed his life and put a whole business in his hands. And now I'm sitting here talking to this man and he's opening up his arms to me. Y'all hear me? In recovery, in AAA, they all say, nobody's coming for you. Nobody's coming for you. God just showed up for me. God just showed up for me in the midst of my homelessness, in the midst of my addiction. God pulled up to me and blessed me tremendously. I'm telling you how good God is. Let's go!
Quick little side note, Brian, what happened to your soda? My man got so excited he threw the soda down on the ground. But ain't God good, man? Like, tell me that ain't amazing. Now, God does meet us where we are, right? No one can expect to be just fully perfect, on fire for the Lord, totally sanctified, while they're getting themselves together, right? You know, especially a man in active recovery. And I don't know about you, but I got saved in prison, right? In a drug rehabilitation prison, right? I went for long-term treatment. And I was down in the dumps, man. I hated myself. I had no self-esteem. I felt worthless, right? And even the woman I was with at the time didn't even love me. So how could I love myself? And this woman and I got set up to do a controlled buy, right? So the girl that set us up was my girlfriend's friend. I was like, you go do the deal with that girl. I don't trust how she's moving. She's moving sketchy today for some reason. And so the girl set us up. My girlfriend gets caught selling the drugs with her. Technically, they were going to let me go. But the girl and my girlfriend at the time told on me. So I ended up getting locked up as well, right? And they were going to let me go because I technically didn't have anything to do with this drug deal, right? But apparently I did. Obviously, it was my stuff. So I was like, look, I don't want to get let go. I cannot get let go. If you guys let me go, I'll come back sooner or later with another charge. Like, I'm really tired of this lifestyle. I really want to get clean. Can I get treatment? And they're like, yeah, the judge loves giving out treatment. So little did I know, God was taking something that the enemy meant for bad and using it for good. And so here I am. I'm in this treatment center and I'm waiting to get started in the program. I went a couple of months early to the program, so I had time to just sit there and like reflect and analyze my life and the path that I was on. And I didn't want to continue to do those things. And I picked up a Celebrate Recovery book and I ended up coming to the Lord. I went to a church service and a guy told me his story. He looked kind of like me. He's a knucklehead just like me that God came and saved while he was in the hole in prison for 2 years for a prison riot out in California. And I'm like, man, if God could save this dude, he can save me. So I give my life to Christ. And after giving my life to Christ, you would think that everything got easy. It was easy while I was locked up, but once I got back out, I started smoking weed again, and I started drinking, and I started fornicating. So I don't condemn Brian for the active addiction that he's living in. What I do see is that God came through and he showed up for this guy in a time where he needed to know if God was there, because when you're homeless, you feel all hope is lost. His phone's getting ready to get cut off. He got some money together to get a hotel room. Thank the Lord. He had some money to get some food, but that was probably his last few dollars. And then this other guy, Brian, comes to give him a job. And that's nobody but God coming through, making a way for him. How many of you know that God can use people to bless you? He can use people to pull you out of the pit that you're in. That happened to me when I was homeless. I was homeless for a couple of months. And then a girl that my brother was dating, her mother was like, you guys can stay with me, but you have to get a job. You cannot stay here if you don't have a job. So that way you can get your own place. 2 days later, I had a job. Go figure. All I needed to do was just take action. And sometimes you just got to take action. And Brian started walking down the street, seen something that intrigued him and got his attention, stopped and talked to another guy, and now he's blessed. And if you look at this guy's page, when God turns your friendships into family, when your name is written in the book of life, when everything seems to be falling apart, but you're still clean, still in your sober house, and God is still good. That's what I'm talking about, man. So it's like, it's a process, guys, and we can't expect everyone to just be perfect right off the flip just because they gave their life to Jesus. And doing so is placing upon somebody your convictions because you've made it a little bit further along than they have, right? But I just love how good God is. I love how good God shows up and just, he blesses us in times where we need it the most. That's the thing about God. He sees us differently than we see each other. And sometimes God sends an angel to do his work for him. Now, I'm not saying that that guy Brian that helped out the other Brian was an angel, but how many of you know that there's been times where you've probably entertained an angel and were unaware of it? God definitely comes through for his children, especially because we don't have to get right to come to God. We just need to come as we are. That's the Holy Spirit's job to help us change. He starts convicting you of things and starts to show you, hey, this isn't the way that you're supposed to do life. And I'm so thankful that God met me in the mess that I was in, because if I had to wait to get right to come to the Lord, I probably never would have came. But he met me where I was at, sick and tired of being sick and tired, at rock bottom in a prison. And I'm so thankful that God met me there, because now I can serve him and I can live my life for him and tell people that have the same story as me that if he did it for me, he can do it for you. And I really just love this video because it encouraged me, because it just reminds me that God is so good. Sometimes once we are walking with the Lord for a little bit, we can get comfortable. We can get complacent. We can forget where God brought us from, just like the Israelites did when they got delivered from Egypt. As soon as they were freed and walked through the Red Sea, seeing these miracles, they start groaning. Oh, weren't there enough graves for us to die in Egypt? Why did we have to come here? Oh, would have been better if we were in Egypt. We had leeks and meat, and just groaning and complaining about things that God just delivered them from when they were in slavery. And we can do that sometimes. We can glorify our old life and forget about what God has delivered us from if we get complacent. That's why we're supposed to have a grateful mind, a grateful heart, and just be thankful for everything that the Lord has done. These videos help me to remember what all God has done for me. And I pray that it does the same and it encourages you. That's going to do it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, God bless.